and welcome back on my channel. Today is a very chill day. I have no jobs, I have no bookings, so I wanted to take advantage of this to organize my kit a little, depot a few more things that I just added to my kit or things that I already had in it but needs to be just downsized. I recently had the opportunity to do a little bit of kit restock with a discount, so that's why I took advantage of it. I technically didn't need anything, but because there was a sale, it was a good moment for me to buy the things that I was gonna buy at some point anyways. I think for next summer, I'm actually planning to get a lot more into bridal makeup. So there's a few things that I needed to buy and add to my kit just to have a little bit more options in terms of bridal makeup, because it's slightly different than what I usually do, like on film and commercials. So I have this basket that's pretty full. There is my favorite brands, Dior, Charlotte Tilbury, there's some contour sticks, some setting spray. There's a bit of everything. So I'm going to depot some of this product, I'm going to label them, and I'm going to try to add them to my kit. So I might have to change the organization a bit. So I thought it might be interesting to show you all of that, to show you what I do when I'm not on set, because my job doesn't stop. I have to keep working on a lot of different things, and organization is one of them. If you like this type of content, anything that's makeup related, makeup artist kit, depotting, please subscribe to my channel. So right here I have the little containers that I'm gonna use for depotting. They are already sanitized. If you want to know how I'm sanitizing all my containers and my station and how I'm getting ready before depotting session, I will put a video in the description for you where I'm explaining all of that. Let's get started with two more shades of the Dior Backstage Foundation, one of my absolute favorites. I didn't love it at the beginning, but I find that I'm using it more and more often, especially for male grooming or for makeup that has to last for a really long time. I find that they are really great for that. They are very long lasting and super natural. And there was a sort of gap in the shades that I had, so that's why I picked up the shade 2 Warm and 2.5 Neutral. So I think by adding these two shades to my kit and mixing them with what I already have, I have a pretty good color range. I would love to add more shades, especially the deeper ones, because I only have a few. I think they are 50 Canadian dollars each, which is a lot of money, so I will add them little by little, like a couple shades here and there. So I'm just going to shake them well, and then I'm going to depot them in the usual little squeezy bottles. I believe this one is 5 milliliters, but again, I will put everything in the description box for you. They're really, really easy and quick to depot because they're so liquidy. In 5 seconds it's done. I love that. And you already know the process by now. I'm going to label them with my Dymo. And there you go, that's done. So that's a lot smaller, perfect for my kit. Now I've added 3 more shades of the creamy eyeshadows, the Eyes to Mesmerize by Charlotte Tilbury. As you know, I love them. I already have one in my kit that I depotted, which is the shade Pillow Talk. And a few weeks ago, I actually decided to add 3 more shades. So I picked the shade Chocolate Bronze. This one is Amber Gold, and that's Oyster Pearl, just because I love them. I use them all the time on maybe 90% of my jobs. That's what I use because it's easy, it's one and go. They are super easy to blend. It takes me 30 seconds to have a nice eye look. And I find that they are just so beautiful. I didn't have time to depot them earlier. That's why I just quickly just label them and throw them in my kit like that. But the packaging is actually pretty heavy. It's a glass jar. So now that I have time, I can finally depot them. And as per usual, I'm going to depot them into these just clear little containers. They are 5 grams, I believe, which is more than enough. So I'm going to start with oyster pearl, and with a little spatula, I'm just going to scoop out some product and throw it in that jar. I just find it so satisfying when it's a brand new product and you just take the first scoop out. When I'm depotting a product that I only use in tiny amounts, such as this creamy eyeshadow, I'm actually not filling the jar all the way to the top just because I don't want the product to dry out. So I'd rather just add a little bit, which is gonna last me for a couple of months at least, and then refill the jar when needed. Amber gold is such a pretty color because I'm usually not a big fan of gold, but this one is a very neutral gold. It's not like yellow gold, so I find it very pretty on deeper skin tones. And then the shade chocolate brown is just a beautiful base for even a smoky eye. Like I would just apply it all over the lid and then go over top with some powder eyeshadow if needed, but it's really nice. It gives a really nice soft smoky eye that's not too intense, so it's like 100% wearable for every day. And even though the color is pretty dark, it has the tiniest shimmers which make the overall look sort of bright. I like to label the products that I'm depotting right away just because I don't want to mix them up or get confused. So that was the original packaging, and now my 3 little baby jars that are so much lighter too. Now the next thing is gonna be contour sticks. So I actually didn't have any cream contours in my kit because that's not really something that you would use on a regular film set or commercial or corporate job or whatever job that I do. But that's something that's very important in bridal, at least for the style that I do. I really love a soft light contour. So I decided to pick up these 3 shades. I'm hoping that it's gonna be enough to cover all different skin tones. So I got a light, a medium, and a dark one, and then I can always like mix them together to adjust the shade to my clients. And I'm going to depot them into one of these little jars too. I don't think that's ideal. I'm trying to think of a different option, but I don't have one for now, so that's how it's gonna be until I think of something else. So I love the texture of the Mario contour sticks, but I find that most of the shades are really warm, which I don't like for contouring. For bronzing it's fine, but not for contouring. So I only picked up the shades that I thought would be neutral enough. I got light medium, which is actually pretty nice, but yeah, I just find it maybe a little, yeah, I wish it would just be more cool tone. Like I have this contour stick from Westman Atelier that I love. The shade is really cool tone, almost grayish, and it looks beautiful on fair skin tones like mine. But I think the stick, I have it right here. Yeah, that one. That stick, so the shade is like super nice. It's just perfect to sculpt the face. But I think this stick, which is actually not a lot of product, it's a big packaging, but the product is pretty small. It's $60. So that's a lot of money for not a lot of product. I can't justify to add that to my kit, but yeah, I wish that the Mario were more cool tone. Like I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the difference, but the Mario one is a lot more warm tone. Anyways, that's good for now until I find a better option. The packaging is really big. there is a brush on the other end. It's like double-ended, which I'm absolutely never going to use the brush. I don't even think I would use it on myself if it was for personal use. So I'm just going to slice it with my spatula. Then I got the shade Nude, Neutral, Medium from Nude Sticks. It's actually a new product, so I haven't heard any reviews, but I just really like the shade. Oh yeah, that's why I picked up that one. So I think this one is going to be my lightest one that I'm gonna use on my super fair skin tones, because its undertone is a lot more neutral than the one from Mario. So I think that should work. And when I picked this one up, the shade Light was out of stock. It was already sold out. I would be actually really curious to see it. And as a third shade, which is going to be the darkest one I have for now, got the shade Dark, again from Makeup by Mario. It's more neutral than the other shades, and I also find it really hard to find contour sticks for deeper skin tones. Besides Fenty, because I'm not a big fan of the texture, I just find them a little bit too dry. What are the other options? If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear that, because I had a hard time finding nice deep contour sticks. Now that is done, we are going to depot the lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Very Victoria. I am a big fan of the shade Pillow Talk. Who isn't? But I find that sometimes it might be a little bit too pink or too orangey for some clients. So that's why I wanted to pick up the shade Very Victoria, because it's still a very nice neutral, but it's a little bit darker and more on the dark pink side than the Pillow Talk. So for clients that have a medium skin tone, I find that would look really pretty. As always for lipsticks, I'm going to dip it into one of these little metal pans, and I'm going to add it to my custom lipstick palette that I have. And I just really love the formula of these Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. They are very expensive for lipstick, but I find that they are really long lasting, and when I'm on set, it's perfect, so I don't have to do too many touch-ups. It's kind of heartbreaking to destroy this beautiful lipstick, because Charlotte Tilbury has the nicest packaging. I really like this vibe. So now I'm just sort of crushing the product into the pan to try to make it flat. And for the label, I'm just going to put it at the bottom of the pan. And now the last thing I have to transfer is this little Fix Plus from MAC. Even though it's a mini size, it's actually quite bulky, and I don't use it very often. Like, I want to have it in my kit because it's very useful sometimes, but that's not my go-to setting spray. So I'm just going to transfer it into one of these little spray bottles. They have been working really well for me, and that's what I use for most of my spray products now. So if I remember well, it's actually pretty easy to transfer, yeah, because it's just a screw top. Yeah, the plastic is, oh yeah, it's actually glass. I didn't know that. That's why it's so heavy, because it's a glass bottle. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I can almost pour the entire product into this tiny bottle, so it's really only the packaging that's taking so much space. I put a label directly onto the bottle, and I'm also going to apply a little one to put on the cap, so when it's in my kit I can see it right away. So now all the other products that I have here they don't need to be depotted, it's just product that I'm adding to my kit. So for example, I got 3 more shades of the Dior Forever Skin Concealer because it's still one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. It's full coverage. but still natural and not dry. And same thing as for the Dior Backstage foundation. I was missing a few shades. Like I had all the shades that I have currently in my kit are neutral, and because that's a product that I'm using all the time, it's worth it for me to buy more. It's just saving me time. I don't have to mix, you know, different shades to get the one that I want. So this time I got shade 2 warm, I got 4 warm, and I also got 0 neutral because I realized that the shade 1 neutral that I have is not light enough. The other day I had a very fair client sitting in my chair, and one neutral was way too dark. So that's why I picked up 0 neutral. And it's also a shade that's going to be very useful just for mixing to lighten up any shade that I already have. So for these ones, I only need to put a little label here at the top with the shade number. There you go, just like that. So when I open my kit, I can see all the shades right away and I don't have to look too much. I know, I bought it. I just couldn't find any dupes. I was looking for months and months, but nothing is close enough to this one. So I bought it, that's fine. I just love it for anything that's like soft glam, and now that I want to get more into bridal, I feel like that's really a must-have, so that's why I bought it. I know some makeup artists depot it because that little foam here at the end is very unsanitary for us. I'm gonna leave it like that for now because I'm probably not going to use it before a few months anyways. So we'll see. I'll give you updates on that, but for now I'm going to leave it as it is. I also had this lip oil from Merit in my kit in the shade Au Naturel, which I told you in a previous video that I loved it. So I picked up this other shade called Pink Beat because it's a lot more pink. This one is more orangey kind of tones. So I just want to label them on the top here again so it's easier for me to find them in my kit. And the last thing that I have in my basket is the Micro Smooth powders from Sephora collection that I find really nice. They are super natural, no texture. They don't obviously have a lot of coverage. They're only a setting powder, but that's what I use the most in my kit, and I go through powders very quickly. And these ones are pretty affordable, so I thought I would get a few shades. I got these 5 shades, so from the lightest to the darkest. I can also use some of the darkest ones as bronzer if I need to contour sometimes, and I'm going to label the shade number right here at the front, so again it's more visible for me. I got shade number 5, number 25, 30, 58 and 70. Alright, so that's it for my little basket. Everything is labeled, everything is depotted, and everything is ready to be added to my big makeup bag. Okay, so that's my kit right now. So I'm going to put away everything that I've depotted today. So I'm just gonna start with my little lipstick. So that's my magnetic palette that I created. So I'm just going to put it right here. That's where I'm slowly adding the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. So I'm going to start with this one. So I guess I can just put it here instead. And that one is a lip oil that I like to mix with lipstick sometimes when I want more of a sheer result. So I'm gonna put it here for now. For the Dior concealers, so that's where they live in my kit, so I guess I'm gonna have to move this little foam here to give more space. In here there's nothing that I really use. This is the P. Louise eye base. I'm actually thinking of taking it out of my kit because I never really use it. I might do a video next on the things that I'm taking out of my kit just because they don't work for me, and that's probably gonna be part of it. So let's get rid of that. Here I have my Duraline and some gel liner. So I'm just gonna move everything to the side. And there you go. So I should have enough space. So I like to organize them from the lightest shade to the darkest. So I'm gonna start here with shade 0 Neutral. So that's one of the new ones. 4.5 Neutral, 5 Neutral, and 7 Neutral. Oh my gosh, look how it fits just perfectly. When that happens, I am so happy. Then I'm going to put back this shade that I already had right here. That's where I put my random lip products for now. And the new shade Pink Bit that I'm just gonna put right next to it. Then the Fix Plus from MAC, that's gonna leave right here with my other spray. So I have the All Nighter from Urban Decay. I have Cosmetic Sanitizer. Let's put the setting sprays here together. Now for the two Dior Backstage foundation, I actually have one of these little cases where I keep my random foundation. So my most used foundations are this one, the Face Atelier, and this is kind of like other foundations that I use in my kit. As you can see, I have quite a lot of Dior Backstage shades, like all of these are Dior Backstage. I'm gonna try to organize it by shades again, from the lightest to the darkest. 0, here I have 1 Neutral, 2 Warm, 2.5 Neutral, 6.5 Neutral that I'm gonna put on the top here too. So I guess at this point I should just keep that one only for the Dior Backstage, because if I had another couple more shades it's going to be full. But for now I'm still gonna add these two Charlotte Tilbury shades that I have randomly and that I practically never use. And I hope I'm still gonna have space to add this one. It's the Face Atelier Heat. It's a color adjuster. Let's see, yeah, that doesn't fit, so yeah, I'm gonna have to find a different solution for that one. So I think I'm just gonna have, oh my god, I'm never gonna have enough space for that. Damn, it's starting to become like a Tetris at this point. Let's see, so in this one I'm keeping all my random things, like for example I have clear lip gloss, I have some liquid highlighter, liquid blush, I have the Got To Be gel. So let's see if I can actually do, damn, I can't, okay, that's gonna be an issue because I'm definitely gonna have to bring one more of these clear cases, but where am I gonna put it? That's the problem now. So because here there is a little gap, so I think if I move this foam just one row to the back, I might be able to make it work. Okay, so I guess it would work like that. The problem with these dividers is that they're only one size and you can only move them to a certain point. So for example, I thought I could move this one back, but I can't because then this one would be too short and this one would be too long. And even if I cut them, I don't think it would fit. So I know a lot of people actually take off these dividers and only use little plastic inserts, which is something that I think I should do at this point, but I'm not sure where to find these little plastic inserts. And now I have more space for my extra box, so I'm probably gonna do one case for the eyes and the other one for complexion. Okay, so here complexion, this is blush, liquid highlighter. The 3 cream contour that I depotted are gonna go in this one, in the complexion box. This is a highlighter too. So now I have enough space to add my 3 new Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows here, and the Face Atelier color adjuster. I'm going to put it here with the complexion product, and I think it's working pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that actually. Yeah, that works pretty well. Since I'm doing that, I might just change all the labels from these cases too, just so they are sideways. Okay, so now we have skincare, primers, face atelier, and other foundation, complexion products, and eye products. I like to always go in that direction. I find that it kind of helped me to work faster and help me with my flow. And then I have to add the Sephora collection powders. So I'm not going to add all of them at the moment because I still have powders that I'm using here, but I can add one because I know that there's a gap in the shades that I have. Okay, so I'm going to add the 58 because I feel like it's a big jump from this powder to that powder. I have more deeper shades in that palette, but it's always good to have single ones to keep in my actor's bag. As you can see, I'm almost done with a couple of my powders, so I'm just gonna keep the other ones as backup. I might even, oh yeah, I even have space to add one more here, so I'm gonna add number 70 because the darkest powder that I have is a blot powder, which is not the best for oily people. So yeah, having that one is definitely going to be helpful. So that's where we are now. I'm pretty happy about it. I think it will be fine. I need to try it out on my next job, but yeah, I'm happy about it. The last step that I do after adding new products to my kit, especially after depotting them, is to log everything into a document just to keep track of the expiry date, because I have so many products in my kit that it's really hard for me to remember when things are expiring, especially because I'm not applying these products on myself, so I can't even smell when they're starting to be a little off, and I never ever want to be in the situation where I'm applying an expired, disgusting product on a client. So that's why I'm keeping track of everything. To do that, I'm using Notion. I actually use Notion for a lot of things in my business. We can talk about it more in detail in a different video if you're interested. But for that, I have a product inventory. So I categorize everything. I have a makeup category, I have skincare, I have male grooming, hair products, and then I organize them by alphabetical order based on the brand. So I would first put the brand, then the name of the product as well as the shade, then the product category, if it's for the lips, if it's for the eyes, for the complexion, and then the opening date. So the opening date is when you actually open the product and break the seal. It's not when you bought it. Every product has an expiry date. It's more or less flexible depending on the product. For example, for anything that's creamy, it's better to keep track of that because they expire really quickly. For powder, you have a little bit more time. Usually they hold pretty well. On all makeup packaging, you can actually see for how long you can keep it. See at the bottom of the box here, you have a little pictogram that's telling you for how long you can keep it after opening. For most liquid or creamy products, it's 12 months, sometimes 18. It can also be 6 months, especially for concealers and mascara, anything that's around the eye. And then for powders like foundation, blushes, or setting powder, it can be from 12 months, most of the time 18, and sometimes even 24 months. So as professional, it is very important for me to keep track of these things. I don't want anyone to have a rash, have a pimple, have an allergic reaction because of my products. That would look really, really bad on me. And every 6 months, I have a reminder in my calendar, and I just go through this entire list and see what needs to leave my kit and what can stay. And if I see that a product is going to expire in the following 6 months, I'm gonna try to remember to use that one first, just so I don't waste it and I don't lose money. But this is quite a boring task, so I'm going to say bye to you now. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you like this type of video, because it is quite hard to film and I'm probably gonna suffer to edit it. So please give me any feedback, I would love to hear that. I will put a video here for you to watch next if you want to know more about the makeup artist career and my makeup kit. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourself and I'll see you soon. Bisous!